Okay, this is Axanar Fandom Lore update number 5. I haven't posted one of these in a while because things have been kind of quiet these past several months, at least on the Axanar Legal Watch side of things. Good. Back in March, CBS Paramount moved to domesticate their judgment against Alec Peters in his home state of Georgia, and that was approved. Meanwhile, the awkward separate filing to dismiss that Peters had floating around in California courts went nowhere. Shocking, I tell you. This summer, the big drama wasn't legal, technically. Instead, it involved the so-called Axanar Animal Rescue, which had apparently been placing cats in pet stores without proper quarantines. This may or may not have been a factor in not 1, not 2, not 3, but possibly 4 extremely problematic escapes of cats that they had placed, at least one of which involved a pet store employee being injured in the process of catching the cat. These and other apparent issues with the Axanar Animal Rescue resulted in them being banned from leaving their animals at 2 separate pet stores, though, of course, this doesn't really apply to the ongoing Axanar v. CBS Paramount legal drama. While all of that is important in its own right, let's get back on subject, because while Peters had a previous writ of fieri facias filed against him by a bank for an approximately $24,000 to $25,000 loan that he had never repaid, as of September 18th, he now has a second writ from CBS Paramount to the tune of $292,372.54 plus interest. What is a writ of fieri facias? Well, it is a court order that allows a sheriff to seize a debtor's assets to collect a judgment. The sheriff can collect money or seize and sell the debtor's property. Generally, this only applies to personal property, aka movable property, versus real property, aka land or anything permanently attached to land, i.e. a house. Some questions have arisen about how this judgment could possibly be collected. Namely, the previous writ should take precedence, and the bank that filed it has already attempted to garnish any and all bank accounts attached to Peters, of which there are few and none of which appear to actually hold any money. Interesting, considering Peters' constant bragging about how he's such a successful businessman. But I digress a bit. Because in this new case, we're looking at a $300K-ish judgment, not just a $24K-ish one. Additionally, one has to wonder whether the bank from the previous judgment did any research on the things that Peters owns, like the expensive movie and show props he consistently brags about in his live streams, or whether they would even care to attempt to seize physical property like that. However, CBS Paramount almost certainly knows about these things. Will they have to jump through the same hoops that the bank already has, searching out and attempting to garnish empty bank accounts? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or even a lawyer by training, and I have never worked in law enforcement. Thank God. Either way, whether or not CBS Paramount will or can attempt to use this writ to go after Peters and or Axanar's personal physical property rather than bothering with these empty bank accounts is, as far as I know, something that is yet to be determined. What I do know is that since the public release of this newest writ of fieri facias, Many have posited that the address listed for both Peters and Axanar is an empty house that is currently on the market, and whether that will keep CBS Paramount from seizing any physical property. The answer to that is mired in legal jargon, but in general, I would say not really. Because if the sheriff acting on this writ has reasonable belief and credible information that the person is residing elsewhere, they should be able to seize personal property from wherever the person is residing. That said, it might or maybe even likely requires a supplemental order or warrant. So, will Peters continue to escape from these writs? Will his followers continue to ignore the judgments against him and continue to make excuses for him? Despite a recent statement in one of his live streams that, and this is Peters' words, "Listen, it's 10 years since we started this thing. What's another 6 months? I don't give a shit. The most important thing is that when it comes out, it needs to be received the way Prelude was received. People need to be blown away." Guess we'll see.